Hello, my name's Michelle Noonan from Divi Soup, and in recipe number 23 I'm going to show you how to create a scrolling image carousel in Divi. For the blog post for this recipe and to get the accompanying CSS, you can go to divisoup.com/r23. For our ingredients, we're going to need the Divi theme from Elegant Themes and 10 images at 200 by 200 pixels. This is going to take you around 15 minutes to do. And for our prep, we need to set up our section. So just to quickly show you what we're going to end up with, we're going to create this scrolling image carousel that we can add client logos to, or any other image really, and you can also link from these because it uses the Divi image module. So from your WordPress dashboard, add a new page and make sure the Divi Builder's active, and then we need to add a new section. But as this is a new page, there's already a section ready for us. So we want this section to have a single column. So we're just going to insert a single column, and then we're going to go into the section settings. And I'm going to set the background color to white because that's the background color of my images. If your background color is black or any other color, you want to set that here. Then click on the Custom CSS tab, and in the CSS class field, give it a class of ds-carousel-section, and then save and exit. Next, we want to open up the row settings, and we want to make this a full width row. We want to use a custom gutter width of 1. And we want our top and bottom custom padding set to 0. Then click on the Advanced Design Settings tab, and you want to set your top custom margin and bottom custom margin to 0. Scroll down to the column padding and set the top and bottom to 0 as well. And make sure that the Keep Column Padding on Mobile is set to yes as well. Then save and exit. And that's our prep done. Now it's time for the method. So back on our page, we want to add an image module to this column. So select the image module. And then what you want to do is you want to add in the URL of your image. So you can either click on your library and upload your image, or select one that you've already got, but you want to have it about 200 by 200 pixels. If you'd like to add a link to the image so that when someone clicks on it, it goes to another page, you can do that here. And then what we want is our animation set to no animation and our image alignment set to center. Leave all the other settings at their defaults and then click on the Custom CSS tab. We're going to give this module a custom CSS class of ds-carousel-logo, and then save and exit. Now what we need to do is we need to duplicate this module 4 times so we have 5 modules in total. So if you just click on the duplicate button 4 times, and then we have 5 modules. Next, open up each module and swap out the images for the other images that you're going to use. And if you want to use a link, then you need to change the link too. So go ahead and do that for all 5 modules. Once you've changed all of your images and links, what we're going to do is duplicate the row. So we're going to duplicate this row twice so that we have 3 rows in total. Then next, in the second row, you're going to want to go into each of the modules and swap out the links and images again for your second 5 images. So if you go through and do all of that, But then on the third row, you want to leave all of the modules as they are, because the third row needs to be identical to the first row so that we get our continuous scrolling effect. Now we need to give each row a custom class. So if you open up the row settings and click on the custom CSS tab, go to the CSS class field, and you're going to give the first one a custom class of ds-image-carousel-first, and save and exit. And then in the second row, again, ds-image-carousel-second, save and exit. And in the third row, ds-image-carousel-third, and save and exit. So that's our modules all set up. Now it's time to add the CSS. So here's our CSS for the carousel, and I'll just quickly go through what each section's doing. So the first part here is making sure that the browser doesn't add a horizontal scroll to the page, because we've got some content that's actually sitting outside of the viewable area. The next section is just reducing the height on mobile so we don't get any extra padding. This section here is what sets the module width to 20%. We've got 5 modules, so it's a fifth of 100. And then we're floating them left so they line up next to each other instead of stacking as they would by default. Then here we've got the settings for our first row, so the width and the Z index, and we're putting a maximum height on it of 200 pixels so that it sort of stays nice and narrow at the size of our images. And then with the animation, we're setting the animation duration, and what we're doing as well is we're getting it to stop when it's finished. And then the next part is our second and third rows. So this is just defining the animation duration, and it's telling it to continue going, so to rotate. And we're also moving the row up 200 pixels so that they sit on top of each other in like a layering effect, and the second two are sitting next to each other so they're not stacking as they would by default. You'll also want to change the background color here if you're not using images with a white background, and that's in all 3 of these sections. And then finally, this is where we're setting the keyframes for our animation. So what we're doing is we're positioning the row, and then over the duration that we set previously, we're moving it to another position. And in the first keyframe set here for the first row, we're actually going to hide the row completely using opacity when it reaches 100% of its animation, because we only need the first row to actually display once. And then the second 2 rows will just continually rotate. So what you want to do is copy the contents of this file. Then you want to paste them either in your child theme style sheet, your Divi theme options CSS box, or for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to put them in the page specific custom CSS box. So once your CSS is added, preview your page, and you should see your continuously scrolling image carousel. And that's it. If you like this recipe, head on over to divisuit.com/R23, and right at the bottom of the blog post, there's a section where you can get access to this layout for free. And you can also subscribe to my newsletter to get all of my tutorials straight to your inbox every week. Thanks for watching.